Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Tea with Force. How are you doing today? People said they like the mug swing. Someone starts swinging the mug. I just gotta be careful not to spill the damn tea. Also, you stop harassing me about the damn tea bag. I leave the tea bag in the tea, especially when it's green tea. I like a stronger green tea. It's not a big deal. All your tea connoisseurs need to GTFO, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're just being nice and you're trying to tell me something so that I can not be an idiot, that's fine. But I enjoy stronger green tea. Get over it. All right, anyways, let's get to the point of this video, which is not to berate you about my tea bagging decisions. This is Sunday Tea with Force. It's a questions and answers video series I will be posting up on Twitter when I want you to ask me some questions for this video. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can get those questions in. And we have a whole bunch of questions today because it's been a little while since I've done one of these. I don't know that I necessarily even want to do them every week, but yeah, it's been long enough that we have a ton of questions, so let's jump in. Our first question here coming from Martin, who says, in your opinion, is VR the next big leap for PC gaming? Or will it be a fad dead in a year? Well, I don't know that it's going to be a fad dead in a year, but I don't know that it's going to take things over, not because it's not very cool and really has the potential of adding a lot to certain game series, but that key word right there is where I think VR won't be like the next Wii U, or excuse me, the next Wii, something that will explode and take over mass market and be this giant thing. Simply because it doesn't necessarily work for all games, and I don't think it works for all people, in the sense that this is going to be great to use while playing Skyrim, or any game where you are innately playing in the first-person perspective, but I don't know that it's going to be that revolutionary for a lot of other titles that we want to play. But the other side of that token is that I don't think everyone's going to want to use it all the time. There's lots of people who just want to jump in and play games casually. You've got your real-life responsibilities to be completely immersed and have this headset on and headphones and all this stuff just take you out of the world. Amazing for certain experiences and certain people, but is it going to be the next explosive thing in gaming? I just don't know. I don't know. And I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong and it will be. It's a good thing I'm not a market analyst. But again, I think it has its place and I think it's very cool. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing like consumer-based product off of it to eventually get out there and be available at your local Best Buy or whatever. But yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence. We'll have to wait and see. Got a question here from Dominic Chong. This is actually a question that I get, and I feel like I've answered quite often. He asks, what are you going to do after all these YouTube video making stuff? Or do you plan on doing this until you're 60? Question mark and a tongue face, implying that he thinks that's a ridiculous question. But the truth is, I don't know that it is necessarily a ridiculous question. There's plenty of people on the internet who are in their 40s, 50s, and maybe even 60s. I'm sure there's people doing something similar to what I'm doing, making money off of producing content who are in their 60s. Like that is a thing that is happening. Am I going to be doing this exact thing when I'm 60? I don't know. I can't tell the future. If I could, I would be super rich because I would invest in whatever thing I do. Yeah, like VR. Maybe I should invest in VR. Maybe it will be the next big thing and I'm wrong. And if I invest in it, I'll be a millionaire. No, I don't know what I will be doing in my 50s and 60s, but I do know. Here, let me say this. We're going to get some real talk here. I happen to know personally people in their 50s, people close to retirement who have lost their jobs. Stable jobs, reliable jobs. Your average, when people say to YouTubers, get a real job, these are people who had real jobs and now they're coming up to retirement and sadly enough, those jobs are gone. And that's just a reality. As much as we love to think that there's these real stable jobs that will never go away, unless you're in like the medical field, that's not necessarily the case. And the fact that I can do right now something I love doing, and I can make a living, support my family, start saving for retirement, saving for a house, doing all these things, just doing something that I enjoy and having, entertaining you guys out there. If I can continue to do something that I'm passionate about and still pay the bills, I'm going to keep doing it, because as much as it is sensible to get a real job, it's not like a sure thing either. So people will constantly tell me, oh, what you're doing it's super risky. Have you thought about your future? Yeah, I have. And I've seen that the other side isn't necessarily all it's made out to be. And I love what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep doing it. And if at one point I need to stop this and get a real job, then I'll do that too. No harm, no foul. Bruck Beef says, any plans to make some kind of IRL videos in the future? So basically non-gaming related videos about you. Well, I think that's sort of partially what this particular series is, interestingly enough. And I have thought about dabbling into other things that aren't just me playing games, maybe even another channel, but truth is, time is my worst enemy, and time management specifically is my worst enemy. And so I don't have any immediate plans to do anything, but it's possible that I might do something. I've got other interests, believe it or not, besides gaming, and maybe that could turn into another channel. I don't know, maybe. Next question, Force, you said a while ago in a stream you were born in Germany, correct? Do you speak some German? Because I hear you saying Scheiße a lot. 9. Adam asks, are you getting tired of seeing all these zombie games? They all seem pretty similar, i.e. H1Z1 and DayZ. Well, interestingly enough, they all tend to have Z in the name, like War Z, because Z for zombies, Zeds. But am I tired of it? No. I'll tell you why. Because I'm still looking forward to seeing one that's like really good, right? Like we have all these zombie survival apocalypse games, and H1Z1 is fun enough, but is it the thing? Is it the thing that... I feel like these games have been so successful because there is a yearning for like a high quality version of this world, of this open world experience where you're traveling, you're dealing with the dangers of other players and the dangers of zombies. Even in H1Z1, the most recent one of these that I've played, they're not that dangerous. Maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe we're going to get a ton of different kinds, but right now it's sort of silly and the combat is pretty god awful. In H1Z1 as well. No, I'm not tired of it yet, believe it or not. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not tired of it quite yet. I'm looking forward to seeing where H1Z1 goes. Maybe DayZ will, make some changes when it finally gets officially released. That thing's not even officially released yet, is it? I feel like I've been hearing about this game for like 5 years now, and it's still, I don't even know what's going on. No, I'm not tired yet. DKZ Dragon says, have you decided to throw your Xbox out the window yet, like I suggested? LOLs. No, it's not thrown out the window. It is collecting dust, though. My consoles I have not seen much use since my playing of Destiny. I hope that'll change, because I am actually thinking about hopping back on when... ESO. When ESO gets to consoles, that's when I think I'm actually gonna pick one of these things back up again, just to give it a shot. But that is dependent on whether or not my friends decide to pick that up too. I don't. Follow-up question from Kai Dubois, who says, what do you think of MMORPGs on consoles? Is it possible, or are the mechanics too complicated? Hilariously enough, as I just said, ESO. No, I think it can totally work. It really depends on the game. Neverwinter is also coming to consoles, and that was the gameplay I found fairly interesting. All the market stuff I didn't dive too much into, but I've heard negative things about. I think I think MMOs can work on consoles. It really comes down to the control scheme. If it's not 100% mouse and keyboard based, if it's like something that sort of plays like a shooter, like ESO does, or like Neverwinter does, something that has crosshairs, and you have to aim, stuff like that, I think that totally works. So I'd like to see more MMOs on the console, because I love my game and PC to death, but sometimes I just want to be like sit on the couch. Sometimes I just want to sit on the couch and have a controller, and certainly not all MMOs let me play them with a controller, not well at least. Christopher Helm says, have you thought of doing Heroes with Jesse Cox or other YouTubers? Yes, as a matter of fact, I messaged Jesse the other day while he was playing Heroes, but he refused to message me back. So I'm calling you out, sir. I want to play some Heroes. I heard you play some Heroes. People on the internet want me to play Heroes with you. Let's play some Heroes. Wow, that whole thing actually sounded very pathetic. I'm sorry, don't listen to that. Just forget I said that. Alexander asks, when you were working as a bartender, what were your favorite drink to mix? Well, my favorite drink were, what I like making. Long Island iced teas are fun. I also like making mudslides, because you get to do scoops of ice cream, and then you put in the vodka, and then what else was in there? Bailey's, vodka, Bailey's, and something else with the ice cream, and you put a little milk and you mix it all up. It's delicious. Oh, it's so delicious. I want to make one right now. Star Citizen Backer asks, can you cover Star Citizen's development like you did for Diablo 3? Thanks. No. I don't know if I'm ever going to dive that heavily into a single game ever. And frankly, I want to check out Star Citizen, but it isn't necessarily like my favorite game ever that I'm looking forward to. Please don't freak out or panic, anybody, because I know there's a ton of people who are super hyped for that game, and I'm not hyped because I don't think it will be good. I think it has the potential. It's just that space sims aren't really my genre. If you followed my channel over the past few years, you would see that. Like, I don't really cover a lot of space sims. It's just not really my thing. So no, I don't think I'm gonna do something like that. I'm sure there's plenty of other Star Citizen YouTubers, though. Give their channel a look, I guess. Come here if you want to see Blizzard stuff, I guess. Mostly. Abe asks, please give some tips how to get used to a controller as a PC only. I want to, but it feels like disconnect, need advice. You plug in, you take the controller and you plug it into your USB, and then you click these buttons. I don't know what you're looking for from me. Some games it works wonderfully with. I think like third person, like action adventure games, I think a controller is fantastic. Certain like 2D platformers and stuff, I think a controller can work very well. If you're just not comfortable with it, that's just a matter of spending more time with it. Like you push the buttons, you click them. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you. And with that, we will be wrapping up today's Sunday Tea Q&A with Forrest. Thank you so much for watching. I realize, yes, again, it is Monday. I am so bad at getting these out actually on Sunday. That is why you don't name shows after a day. Because if you procrastinate like I do, and if you can't speak like I can't, then you run into problems. So don't do that. Look at this. I'm going to drink it. The tea bag has been in this entire time. It tastes good. Why are people giving me a hard time? This tastes so good. All right, today's just the normal for me. It's green tea with a half a teaspoon of honey and a wedge of lemon squeezed in. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It's hydrating. And it still tastes good, even though the tea bag's been in this whole time. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic afternoon. We got a bunch of stuff coming up this week. I'm also going to start live streaming again, probably today. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. I was about to say keep watching and keep owning, but it's weird when you're in person. So have a cup of tea and keep teabagging the tea.